Yippee-ki-yay, mother... Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Folks, we have another fight here at hand. People are coming out of the woodwork to tell me that I'm wrong about Supreme Leader Kylo being worse than Sith Eternal in terms of which galactic legend to farm first. So this is my attempt to discuss it more. I don't think I gave Supreme Leader Kylo quite the fair shake last time. In my last video, just yesterday was when I made it, but I want to give him as fair a shake as possible. I still don't think that he is better than Sith Eternal, but I'm going to probably be making a new player guide at some point in the future, and we need to get to the bottom of this. I think I've shown myself to be a pretty reasonable person. I will listen to people about things, so tell me in the comments what am I wrong about. Actually watch the video and listen to my arguments first. I would recommend, but I mean, I know that the RSG guys, just totally incidentally, they put out a video saying that Kylo is the first GL to get, and I'm like, no, don't even get him, don't even bother. And maybe I didn't give him a fair shake. I watched their video, and they made some good points, and a lot of people in the comments and on my Discord made a lot of good points, and I want to make sure I'm presenting those, making sure that we have all of the information at hand so that you guys can understand why Sith Eternal Emperor is actually better than Kylo. I don't think that either of them are a terrible choice, to be clear, and there are absolutely decent reasons to get Kylo first, but I personally don't think so, especially with Grand Arena being so important now, playing such a central role. So before we jump into that, guys, just want to remind you, please, if you want to support the channel for free, all you have to do, hit that thumbs up button or leave a comment in the comment areas. You don't even have to say anything too fancy. Just, Algo, or Zareth, you're awesome, or I want to feed your ego, here is an ego boost. Any of those things will suffice, or just talk about the matter at hand. It's going to be a very interesting discussion, I'm sure. So, we're trying to mount the algorithm, and guys, it's been exciting. We've been getting so many new subs, and we're gonna probably get to 9K subs before the new year. If we could get to 10K, oh my gosh, that would be so amazing. We have to average somewhere around 65 or 70, something like that, every day until the end. So we have 20 days that we have to do it. We've been meeting it for about a week now, and wouldn't that be awesome? I would super appreciate it. So go get your wife's device and just stealth sub me, and she can unsub me if she needs to, but help me out, guys. I would really appreciate that. And if we can get there before New Year's, man, I'll do something awesome. It'll be awesome. You guys will be like, wow, that wasn't even Galaxy of Heroes related. I'm like, but it was awesome, right? And you'll be like, well, yes, Zareth, yes, I admit it was awesome. You'll see. So let's go into this debate, folks. Supreme Leader Kylo, and just to be upfront, I am absolutely going to try to give him as much good as possible, and deliver the facts. We're not going to cherry pick things. Maybe I'll miss something accidentally, but I did watch and read a ton of comments. People want to debate, and that's fine. That's going to help us all. So, Supreme Leader Kylo, the good things about him. He's great at raids. This is something I did not cover that much. I said that he can beat the Sith raid, and that's true. He can absolutely beat that raid. He can also do a lot of damage in the Challenge Rancor, and Challenge Rancor is important for littler, smaller guilds to be able to do, especially now that there's less incentive for people to merc and send out, like the bigger guilds used to just send out all of their good players every time to get extra rewards, and now they don't necessarily have as much incentive to do that, because everyone gets good rewards except for the 10 laziest people, which I'm usually one of them. And here's the thing, I've never cared that much about the challenge Rancor. I don't have time as a content creator. I'm always doing other things, and so I don't do it, and that's not something I took into huge consideration. People want to do the raids, that's fine. I just don't see it as something that is a transcendent thing. You don't want to short your guild. You don't want to like shirk and have everyone else do your job, but at the same time, I do see that as one of the lesser considerations anyways. It's fine. It's good to contribute. I don't know that you farm your first galactic legend and pin all of your GAC hopes, now that GAC is so central. I don't see that you pin all your hopes on that, on the Rancor. Like, I don't think that that's the conclusive reason. I think you want to be good at GAC first. So raids, that's fine, but you know, that is something I didn't really consider that much in my initial video, though. The other things about him, he gives you 2 decent teams. He even gives you a 3rd decent team. I mean, so he's got his own team. He's got and then he's got a crew team, and you can kind of distribute that however you want. Hux goes in one of those 2 teams. Hux is really good. He makes one of those teams way better, and his absence makes one of those teams way worse. And then you kind of have a bad Phasma team as well that you can kind of run sometimes, like Phasma and some pilots and whatever leftover madness that you have. You also have fleet, which it's not the best fleet. Finalizer is probably the 3rd worst fleet out there right now, and that's fine. It's okay. It still counters quite a bit. It gets okay banners sometimes, but most nowadays it's really hurting because of all the other fleets. But as a starting fleet, like one of your top 4, if you get it up to 7 stars, that's not bad. But generally speaking, you're probably going to just have it at 5 stars for a really long time. And if that's the case, then it's not good. You want 7 stars or bust on that fleet. Or I mean, same with Radis, but yeah, it's not the best fleet. And I don't know. It is a factor though. And okay, so cheapest farm, it is like you can get most of the characters just through the shops, the various stores and stuff. You don't have to get a galactic legend or anything, or you don't have to get a legendary character even to unlock him. He's the cheapest. He costs the least relics, and that's fine. He is the cheapest. We covered that in the last video. And this is one, I'm a little bit going to be facetious here, just a tiny bit, guys. I re-listened, and I don't think I was unclear, but just in case people decide not to understand me again, people telling me all the time that people saying, like, bringing this as an argument, saying, well, Supreme Leader Kylo can absolutely beat Sith Eternal, so therefore he's better, is not... Yeah, I agree. Okay, so Sith Eternal has a way to beat Kylo in 5v5. He can do it. It's ugly. It's not something I want to do ever, really, but Sith Eternal can beat Kylo if he wants to, and Kylo can just swat Sith Eternal. Absolutely agree. He counters Sith Eternal better than he counters anything that is a galactic legend. You won't find me arguing about this. This is not really something I'm going to debate, because obviously Sith Eternal is disadvantaged in a lot of really important ways, and Kylo does beat him, but I don't see that as a good argument at all, because what else does Kylo do anyway? So first off, in what world is Sith Eternal going to be consistently on defense? I haven't seen him on defense for seasons, several seasons in a row, because he is such a good offensive character. You don't farm Sith Eternal for a good defensive character, you farm him as a good offensive character. So it's just making a strawman argument. Yes, Sith Eternal can counter Kylo can counter Sith Eternal. That's yeah, duh, it can, but why does it matter? It doesn't matter, because you're not going to face Sith Eternal on defense anyways, and if you do face him on defense, then yay for you. You got to fight the one time ever that he's on. It's just, I don't know. It's a little bit silly, in my opinion, but whatever. If you think that's relevant, then please continue to tell me. Okay, Sith Eternal, good stuff. He helps with the Executor farm. So you need Piet for Executor. You need a lot of other things, but you need Piet, and it kind of springboards you off. He needs, what, Relic 5 for Sith Eternal unlock. He needs Relic 5 on Piet. Then eventually Piet needs Relic 8. So it's a good start for that, at least. His farm has good crossovers. He has other characters that are needed in other squads that you're going to be getting, like a Padme squad needs Jedi Knight Anakin, for instance, and the Troopers team, you want Piet and Veers and Stark. Usually those are three really important characters. He is a little more expensive to farm and everything, but just because he needs more relics, he needs all this stuff. But most of the characters are actually quite good. Like Maul, it's not as great, but or Krennic. There are some characters on the outliers, and Emperor Palpatine is actually so Emperor Palpatine was kind of on the outs, and now Palpatine's really good with Mara Jade. Mara Jade, I'm going to be making a video later today, or at least publishing one, about how she is viable even at 3 stars, and at 7 stars, she is going to help Sith Eternal Emperor Palpatine really turn up the heat. And Sith Eternal requires Emperor Palpatine. People are saying that as a legendary character, Emperor Palpatine is difficult to unlock or something like that, and I just have to laugh because that... I think I unlocked him with my Phoenix at Gear 8 or something like that. I think I got him to 7 stars with Gear 8 characters, and I think you could probably do it with less. It was laughably easy. So, and you don't need good character. You don't need rare characters. He's barely a legendary, guys. He is just the easiest to unlock out there. So that's not an argument. The other good thing about Sith Eternal is when you farm him, he doesn't take other characters. He can do well with other Sith, but generally he just wants one of his babysitters or nothing, and he gets good banners. He's his own team. He doesn't steal a team from anyone. He is his own self-contained team. So you farm all these characters that go in all these different squads, fill out your roster, and then he's just hanging out on his own. So that's nice. He also counters all the Galactic Legends. He beats everything except, I know that there is a counter out there for against Lord Vader. I think it's fairly ugly. I don't know how consistent it is, but he beats all of the Galactic Legends, and against Supreme Leader Kylo he also struggles. But the other ones are pretty consistent, I would say, especially against Kenobi, which is the character that you're going to meet up against, I think, the most. So, he's countering a lot of different things. And in Conquest, whereas Supreme Leader Kylo does okay, at the later levels, he just loses a lot of guys and stuff. Sith Eternal can also lose a lot of guys and lose in the last level, but he is also the best babysitter out there. It's like, in the current Conquest, I just finished with all the quests where you need Han and Boba to go together, and Boba with Fennec, and I put all 3 of those in there. Then I put Jango in there so that Boba and Jango are getting kills, and those are all the universal feats, and I just got all of them because Sith Eternal is so good at babysitting them. And Supreme Leader Kylo, when I tried to do the same thing, it got super dicey a lot of times, and Sith Eternal just offers that level of protection that's super nice. Now, when you look at both of them, these are these are just other considerations to take into account. First off, Sith Eternal has, you want to look at tags, because you want to see how well they're going to work with each other and how well they're going to do in the long term of this game. And one of those things is the tag that you have. Sith are a faction that we're just going to keep getting updates for. Always getting updates for Sith, and in general, he buffs Darkseid decently well anyways. First Order with Supreme Leader Kylo is less awesome, and I guess the UFU tag, the Desufu, Darkseid unaligned Force user, that's okay. Maybe. It hasn't been useful yet for Kylo. Maybe eventually it will be, but I think the most relevant one is First Order, and I'm going to be very surprised if we actually get another First Order character at all. Maybe we will. I guess they're talking about maybe making a show as a sequel to the sequel trilogy or some random crap, which makes me laugh because all the conspiracy theorists are like, ooh, they're going to decanonize, and now that's just totally bogus, but okay. But otherwise, I don't mean to mock you. I feel your pain. I just never thought it was going to happen, so it's fun to be right, as you might imagine. You probably know what it's like to be right sometimes, at least. I need to stop. Okay, Sith Eternal is awkward without his ultimate. There's no way around it. Kylo does okay without his ultimate. He still really, really wants his ultimate. Both of them absolutely need it. It's not like Jedi Master Luke can kind of he can do a lot of the things he does normally without an ultimate. He's way, way, way better with it. But these two need the ultimate, and Sith Eternal needs it even more. He can't really counter any Galactic Legends without it. He is just super awkward. Maybe he beats like Jedi Master Luke or something, but everyone beats Jedi Master Luke. That doesn't matter. So he's awkward as hell without his ultimate, and Kylo is less. So point in Kylo's favor. Now Sith Eternal, however, is significantly easier to mod, and this is actually very relevant, especially in the end game, because you need all the speed mods you can get, at least the high-end ones. And Sith Eternal's just like, you know what, just give me some somewhat fast health set mods. You don't even need speed anywhere, not even on his arrow, just health all the way around, just lots of health. Get him 200k health and call it good. Get him as close to that and get him some speed a little bit, not too much. That's it. Like, he doesn't require high-end mods. Kylo is extremely hard to mod because the very best version of him is going to be with an enormous amount of speed. Get him as close to 600 speed as you can. That is a ruinous amount of speed that you could be putting on Gideon or Darth Revan or any number of characters. And if it's your only GL, then I guess that's fine. But as you continue on, Kylo's modding situation is just ridiculous, and it's nice to have a Galactic Legend that you can kind of just mod and then set aside. Supreme Leader Kylo is a character that I've been struggling with a lot because he wants health, he wants offense, he wants speed, he wants all of these things, and he can't have them all. He's a greedy bastard who is the worst Galactic Legend out there, in my opinion, because he doesn't counter anything efficiently, and and yet you have to put good mods on him, and you put him on defense, and even if he has really fast mods, if you're facing a good player, which we've talked about this before, why are we having this discussion if it's not against a good player? Then if it's against a good player, they're going to have a fast enough old Ben to be able to counteract you, and they'll just use their non-Galactic Legend Jedi to counter you, or they'll just use Jedi Master Luke to counter you even easier. And it's not, in my opinion, he just struggles a lot. We should also point out that Kylo is easier to clean up than Sith Eternal. Both of them are challenging, so I don't mean to be disingenuous there, of course, but I do think that Kylo's easier to clean up, and I've used a ton of different teams to clean him up, and Kylo's also just wide open to a bunch of random counters depending on what your team comp is. If you put him with Night Sisters, you can use all kinds of teams. You can use Troopers to counter him, you can use Commander Luke. Any team that has a ton of good turn meter manipulation will just school him really hard, and Sith Eternal's like, I have built-in protection against all of that stuff, you are all dead anyways. So are either of them transcendent? Neither of them are good as Kenobi or Lord Vader. Of course not. Or I would even argue Jedi Master Luke is better than both of them, and Rey could be better than both of them depending on what his supporting cast is. So I'm not saying that either of them are the best. I think as far as starting characters and starting things, I think that Sith Eternal probably just edges out Kylo, and then you don't want to spend the rest of your time farming another kind of, I wouldn't say that either of them are like awful. I mean, Kylo is just the worst out of all of them, and so why are you farming? Like, Sith Eternal's decent, he's not transcendent. Why are you going to farm another non-transcendent character? Like, why don't you, after you get one of them, why don't you get Executor and then try to get, I don't know, Jedi Master Kenobi, Jedi Master Luke, something like that, someone who's going to substantially help your roster. And I think Kylo just gets edged out and is therefore mostly worthless. I think also Sith Eternal's just way more reliable to take out a lot of these different teams. Kylo's just, he'll always be somewhat relevant. He's just not efficient in GAC, whereas Sith Eternal is, and there you go. If you need to do raids, then Kylo's fine. Territory battles, I would say that they're both fine until phase 4, and then Kylo struggles in comparison to Sith Eternal as well. And I think that's it. This video went longer than I wanted to, but I did just want to address this. You guys can let me know in the comments, what am I wrong about? What am I missing still? I really think Sith Eternal's better, but maybe Kylo, maybe I'm missing something about Kylo. And to those of you who chose Kylo first, it's not terrible. You'll be okay. He has some good things too. So guys, thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth prevails, and so does Sith Eternal.